I, Precious Wakdo, Zonal Coordinator, Asup, overseeing 11 states of South, South, and Southeast in Nigeria. On behalf of the national leadership of the Union, welcomes you to this press conference to state the stand of the Union on the recently introduced salary subvention policy by the state government. Following the refusal of the state government to review its position on the salary subvention policy for the state-owned polytechnics in Ogwashi Uku and Otefe, after several correspondences and meetings involving the local chapters of our union, managements of the polytechnics, and officials of government, it has become very imperative that this issue be brought to the public domain, hence this press conference. Recall that in April 2022, the Delta State government introduced a salary subvention policy which provides that the management of the polytechnics contributes not less than 10% of the total monthly wage bill of all staff in their employment, while the government takes care of the other percentage. To the undiscerning mind, this policy may appear logical and in line with best practices, but the reality is that this policy will and has already started having serious adverse consequences on the tertiary education in the state. As a responsible union, we are duty-bound to raise alarm over the ills that this policy has started to bat, while rejecting SEM and calling on the state government to immediately take a second look at the policy with a view to stopping its implementation in order to arrest the ills that has already begun to manifest in these two polytechnics. Some of these ills are delay in payment of salaries. Since the introduction of this policy in April 2022, staff of the institution now receive salaries 2 to 3 weeks into the new month. The economic effect on the private lives of these workers who are indigents of the state, as well as their dependents, are better imagined. This ugly trend has continued to worsen as the months pass by, because management of these institutions are finding it extremely difficult to raise several millions of naira monthly to augment what the government provides. If not checked now, this institution will start owing salaries, which may lead to the kind of ugly situation we have in Abia State Polytechnic, Aba, where staff are owed up to 36 months arrears of salary. Staff inadequacy. Already the death of staff has been a serious problem for the two state-owned polytechnics, as the government has not been dutiful in the employment of staff since 2008, when it introduced the central payment system. Since then, resigned, retired, and dismissed staff are yet to be replaced. This has left huge staff deficits, and in response, management of these institutions have resorted to engaging contract, part-time, and ad hoc staff to fill their gaps at their own expenses. Today, only about 60% of staff of these polytechnics are full-time employees, while others are employed on ad hoc basis. The implication of this kind of arrangement, that even before the introduction of the salary subvention, the management of this institution were already contributing far more than 10% to the payment of staff salary arrears. Imminent staff rationalization. This, of course, is inevitable, as managements are very likely to commence the downsizing of staff strength of their institution so as to be able to pay salaries. The economic and social effects of this can be very disastrous. Low staff morale. With the delay and eventual non-payment of salary comes low productivity, occasioned by low staff morale. A demotivated staff cannot give out his best. As of today, no staff of the two polytechnics have started enjoying the financial benefits of 2021 promotions, and the reasons are very obvious. Worse still is the fact that the government of the state has sworn not to pay promotion arrears. So you can imagine low quality of education. With this policy, Delta State is likely to lose the quality of teaching and learning these institutions are far known for. Apart from breeding a crop of demotivated and depleted staff, learning resources like laboratories, workshops, and classrooms will begin to suffer. Management's ability to provide and service these learning resources will be grossly eroded, as premium will now be placed on raising funds for the payment of salaries. Increased cost of education. To survive the payment of salaries, these institutions will definitely be forced to hike tuition fees and other charges, as well as even introduce new ones. With today's economic realities, not many parents can afford more to keep their wards in school. These will assuredly lead to a drastic drop in students' enrollment and in turn bring about a drop in internal generated revenue, which is even where the 10% will come. And this will definitely make it more difficult to pay the salaries, and the cycle will continue to go on. Away from the salary subvention issue, which is the main issue, it is evident that our local unions in the two polytechnics have severally appealed to the state government over the following issues and are yet to get positive responses. On the issue of restatement of 7% academic staff peculiar allowance, erroneously omitted at the point of computation of the new minimum wage in 2019. The implication of this is that a driver who is at level 9 is earning the same salary with a lecturer who is at level 9. And this same lecturer is expected to provide evidence of conferences, journal publications, before he attends to the next level. Meanwhile, the driver, all the driver needs to fulfill is just 3 years, nothing more. He gets to the next rank. But an academic staff needs to attend a minimum of 5 conferences and about 6 journal articles before he will get to the next rank. And this is why the operators of the system in their wisdom felt that the academic staff should have a 7% salary differential to allow him to attend to these needs. But as it is today, no lecturer in the Polytechnic in Delta State is enjoying this. Payment of promotion arrears, you can understand that very well. What is the essence of promotion if there is no financial benefit? What makes a man a big man if he cannot afford something extra? So promotions in Delta State, like I said earlier, nobody has received any financial effect. And the government of Delta State have this policy. Anyone that has passed has passed. Then the Federal Polytechnic Act has still not been domesticated in Delta State. One of the beautiful things about this act is that it has even reduced the governance of polytechnics, in the sense that most members of the governing council must come from the system. It has also eliminated the appointment of unqualified persons as chief executives. Because we've seen a situation whereby somebody who has never been a head of department in a university will be taken straight there because he knows somebody in government to head an institution because he's a polytechnic. And you can imagine the challenge the person is going to face. No matter how wonderful you are as a professor, if you've never had the experience of being a head of department, of being a dean, you can't make a good manager of the system. And that is why the Act provides that the only persons who are qualified to be rectors of polytechnics should be chief lecturers. And I tell you, in polytechnics where chief lecturers are chief executives, the difference is too clear. The performance is above par. Then on the issue of contributory health insurance scheme, it's a national law. Unfortunately, it has not taken off in Delta State. And I wonder why. Delta State indigenes are still Nigerian citizens, so they deserve the best. To avoid the aforementioned attendant ease of the salary subvention policy, It is in the best interest of Delta State government to immediately stop this obnoxious policy. Our union believes in the sagacity of the workers-friendly executive governor of Delta State, Senator Dr. Ifeanyi Okowa, and we look forward to his positive response to this cause. A reversal of this policy is the right thing to do, and it is in the best interest of the government and people of Delta State, especially at this time of electioneering politics in Nigeria. This is our position. This is our demand. Thank you. God bless Delta State. God bless Nigeria. Thank you once again for your attention. Before this, there was the government owing salaries. No. That is the truth about it. And you asked the second leg of it, the issue of downsizing. From 2008, Delta State government introduced central payment system. The implication of that central payment system is that new staffs are not employed. And you know, every year people retire from the system. Every year people resign. And as an institution, there is always the need to expand by virtue of bringing in new programs. I want to tell you, from 2008 to today, no polytechnic has employed new full-time staff. So the new programs that are being run in these polytechnics are being sponsored by the polytechnics. And those retired staff, their replacements are now contract staff, part-time staff, who are also being paid by the polytechnics. And I know and one of these institutions have over 300 ad hoc staff as we talk. And you can imagine the financial implication. And they are the one bearing this cost. But the one government has been paying, they have been diligent about it. And now adding this additional burden to the institution, you can now understand the burden these institutions are going to carry. And definitely, they may be forced to drop more staff. Well, first, let me be positive, because having known Delta State Governor, and his educational policy, I want to believe that they will review their stand. But if, after giving them the necessary time, the stand is not reviewed, we'll do what unions are known for. We'll do what unions are known for. We are a union, we are a trade union. We are not a religious organization. And the Constitution has also given us opportunity and right to take certain actions to press home our demands. And let me also correct this impression. Our strategies are not always strike. Depending on what the situation is and depending on what the responses are, we will know what to do. So as we anticipate responses, we'll definitely review our stand, and the responses will determine the kind of action we take. We are giving them 30 days. Yes, sir. While we take the chorus of the solidarity song, just the chorus. Soli, 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 solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. For the union makes us strong. Soli, 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 solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. For the union makes us strong. Isoleto, Africa, hip hip hip. God bless you.